shoot. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, stop me. 4 takes, that's shoot. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, you got me.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Cobb and Dash Show, the second episode of season 2023. We're waiting for Cobb and Tasia to join the show. As we mentioned on the Facebook group earlier, this is going to be a mock draft episode, so we have a 5-round mock draft. We'll have 4 people on, so me, Cobb, Tasia, and Alex. Alex is back from his hiatus. It's the first time on the show since he committed to the tanking last year in his rebuild. Alex, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's been a minute. You know, this organization kind of debated, whether he was going to come on here today or if he was going to wait until the draft to be kind of the first time he's shown face in the this kind of new rebuild format. But we're excited. It's August, it's draft season, and the second we heard mock draft, we had to be there.
Yeah, we were happy you came on. Cobb and I were spitballing yesterday the mock draft idea. We talked to Stu, talked to ZT. ZT said he didn't want to do the mock draft because he didn't want to let people know where his head was at. I don't know. Stu didn't really give us an indicator if you want to do it or not, but we knew you would probably be into it. But I didn't know if you were going to come back on because you haven't come on in a long time. But before we get Cobb and Tasia on the show, because when we do, we'll do the mock. Let's just get a little bit of your. I want to know what's going on with you. Like, what have you learned from when you burnt it down last year? The trades you made this offseason. I mean, going back to the trade you made with Barry, the Cooper Cup deal, and then this offseason you went at both new owners. You got deals done, and you pretty much revamped your keeper situation. What's been kind of your mentality since last year, kind of burning it all down and going through your first ever complete rebuild?
I mean, yeah, and to be clear, I mean, when last year started, in the beginning of the season, I thought I had a team that was capable of making the playoffs. I liked the players that I had on my squad. So my intention was not really to rebuild until I had, a couple injuries. Javonte went down, who I was high on last year, and I think I had another player, another key starter, who ended up being out for a while. And it was at that point, and I think there was also the first 3 or 4 games of the season, I lost by like 2 or 3 points, and I just got into a hole early. And it was also, I think, right at the same time, the week 6 trade deadline for future picks was coming. And I kind of had to make a decision. Do I keep grinding this out and at best maybe sneak into the playoffs as a 6 seed and, probably be one and done again for the, however many consecutive year in a row? Or do I, for the first time ever, put all my chips on the table and just go all in? And I did a little bit of research, and I found just from looking at this league and a couple other keeper leagues I'm in, people that end up having the first overall pick, meaning that they're in last place the previous year, there's a very high chance, as long as they do the right things, that they can make the playoffs next year just by leveraging having that early pick where you can basically send someone else back and keep 3 studs and draft them. It's almost like having, basically 4 keepers in a way when you look at it that way. And you can build studs that way. So I just figured, I'm going to go all in, put my chips on the table, get a couple extra picks. So I like where I'm at right now. I think, I think I'm in, right where I want to be.
Yeah, we got Cobb on right now. Yeah, no, I mean, based on your moves you made this offseason, I love your keepers. Your draft situation, I was kind of surprised because obviously you've traded a lot of picks to get some of the guys you have, but like looking at your draft situation, I thought you had a lot more picks in the first 4 rounds than you do. And I thought that was kind of interesting. Because I thought for some reason, you just had a stockpile of picks in the first 4 rounds of the draft. So like, did you trade a lot of them? I mean, I haven't looked at the trade spreadsheet, but did you trade a lot of those first 4 round picks for guys?
I mean, basically my second and my third. Well, so really I traded my second into the 3rd round. So both of those picks are being used to keep, Jacobs and Eckler. And then my 4th, I traded to get, one of those guys in one of the trades. And so, really it's just basically when you look at it, I had 2 firsts and then all of my other picks. And really I'm just using like my 2nd and 3rd to keep Jacobs and Eckler more or less. And so, I still basically have, my 4, 5th, 6. I still have all those picks, and then I still have my 2 firsts. So really, it's just my second and third that's being kind of occupied right now. But with the guys that are being sent back right now, I'm feeling really good about, one, my 3 keepers, and then 2, kind of, the 2 players I should be able to grab in the first round.
But before we wait, while we're waiting for Tasia to get on the call, what have you thought about? Because we haven't had Alex on since he began the rebuild last year. Since he kind of burnt it all down. What have you thought about his moves going back to last year? And also, what does it feel like to have him back on the show?
No, obviously it's great to have Alex back on. We've been missing the analysis, our our field analyst on the show. We've kind of
numbers guy.
Yeah, we've had to carry the weight with just us 2, which I think we did a pretty good job. But it's always nice to have the extra man on the stream. But no, I think Alex is coming in as primed as ever, as primed as anybody else out there for this season, and we'll get to some season takes, but this might be the year that he breaks the curse. What people are saying. So
breaks the curse of what?
His playoff curse.
What are you talking about? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, his playoff curse. Yeah,
Jesus,
winning one. Well, no, when you say playoff curse, I think just making the playoffs. But yes, I know you're right. He's never won one. Playoffs. So while we wait for Tasia, we're gonna get the part of the show that we usually do at the end now, before just to kill some time. It's Barry's motivational squeeze, and as this whole thing's gonna be based on people's keepers or projected keepers and the mock. So this motivational squeeze will be to the team that you think has the weakest keepers going into this draft. So our motivational squeeze will be to those owners. So let's cut to Barry's motivational squeeze right now.
This is why you're fucking holding back, and I'm tired of the BS.
Yeah, so we are picking. Our motivational squeeze is going to the owners that we think have the worst keepers, or your personal opinion you think have the worst keepers. I'm gonna go. I'll begin. I don't know if you guys have a person you're really keen on here, but the person I'm gonna give a shout out to will be my guy, Paul. There's rumors and rumblings going around that he might not be keeping Jonathan Taylor. Whether he trades him or not, I don't know. But apparently, the rumors I've heard is the fact that he's seen all the QB1s that are pretty much gone, and he doesn't want to be without a QB1. So the rumors I'm hearing is he's going to keep Herbert, whether he trades Jonathan Taylor or not. He's keeping Justin Herbert. It's the rumor that's going around. I don't know how legit it is, but it's a rumor that's going around. And if that is true, he's going to have Chubb, who, I don't know. I feel like we're coming to the end of days of Chubb. I know he's a 9th round tender, so he's got, it's a good value. But we're coming to the end of Nick Chubb, a guy who doesn't catch the ball, a guy who just kind of been run to the ground. And also they're paying Watson a lot of money, so you could see them just becoming more of a pass-heavy offense. Mark Andrews, solid top 5 tight end. Also good value, 9th round. But then Herbert, we're keeping a quarterback who's 4th round value. I don't know. It's not really a sexy 3 to me. I think Paul is a really good owner. He always makes moves. He's not one of those guys who shy away from making moves. And I give credit to guys who actually try to make moves and do stuff. But these names don't really jump out at me. And I know Jonathan Taylor's going through some rough times right now with what's going on with the Colts. I know he's back in and stuff, but who knows how long it's going to last, this honeymoon or whatever. Not honeymoon, but I guess marriage counseling. Who knows how long it's going to last before he just wants out, and who knows where he's going to land next year, potentially going to a team on a running back committee next year. So I get that, but I don't know. For Herbert, I don't know. I just think there's a lot of mid-tier quarterbacks you can get later on in the draft that aren't going to be that far behind Justin Herbert, but yeah, if Paul does go that route. So I think that's the one I'm kind of throwing a red flag there as far as what's going on here. Does Paul need to reel it in a little bit? But that's my guy I'm pointing out.
Yeah, I guess I'll go next. Paul's a good choice. I'm interested to see what he does with Jonathan Taylor, as you mentioned. I've heard rumors that he's actually actively shopping him right now too. So I still think he has better keepers than the guy I was going to go with. I'm going to go with ZB, the new owner. I think this might have been the easier choice. I think all three of us probably had him in our heads. Key names Kyle Pitts, James Cook, young guys, but I'm not really loving the value there. I do think Pitts probably would have been taken in the top 3 rounds of this draft, but at the same time, it's just not great value for a guy that did nothing last year. And who knows how that Atlanta offense is going to look. James Cook, I get the appeal of having the number 1 running back on Buffalo. I think he's in for a good year, but at the same time, how many touchdowns is he really going to get? How many opportunities is he going to get? It's a loaded offense. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be hard to be consistent. I'm hoping I'm proven wrong because I really like him as a player. I just think he's going to be he's going to be a better football player than a fantasy player. I love Calvin Ridley. I traded for Trevor Lawrence in the offseason. Half the reason was because they do have Calvin Ridley, a better looking offense. At the same time, he did trade Joe Burrow, the Burrow injury makes it a little interesting, but I still like Burrow just long term in a keeper league. Having a top tier quarterback for years to come, Dash is a prime example of how beneficial that is, not having to worry about that, not having to reach for that. And he's going to have to be one of the guys that reaches for a quarterback. If Paul ends up keeping Herbert, who's his quarterback going to be? So I think it's I don't think they're awful keepers or bad keepers necessarily. I just think everyone else is coming in loaded or more loaded into the draft.
Yeah, it's also low-hanging fruit. I mean, we mentioned, obviously, he has probably amongst the worst keepers. It's also his first year in. He took over a really kind of a bad roster with what Ruben left him. I was kind of going more outside the box with my Paul pick. But no, I agree. They aren't a lot. There's not a lot of flash there to it, or not locks. I guess not taking a chance on guys. Tasia, we're doing motivational squeeze on the guys who we think have the worst projected keepers. I said Paul with the news that Paul might be keeping Justin Herbert over Jonathan Taylor. Whether he trades him or not, he might keep Herbert over Jonathan Taylor. I thought that was kind of weird. And then Cobb said Zach B has the worst keepers going into the draft. Alex, who's the guy you have as far as your the weakest keepers going into the draft?
It's actually interesting because I was looking at this before even both of you guys went, and it's good. I actually have someone completely different. For me right now, I have Stu as kind of having the worst keeper options. And I think for a couple of reasons, looking at this, for me, it was between Stu and ZB, but this is ZB's first year into this league. And so he's still filling out the ropes. He's still trying to figure out trade value, trying to figure out a strategy. And it's probably going to take him a year or two to really hone in all of that. Stu's obviously a veteran in this league. And I don't know. I mean, one, he had Nick Chubb, who, like you said, Nick Chubb probably has 1-2 more good years than him at most. But if you look at his ADP, in terms of fantasy running backs, he might have had the best, valuation in terms of, where he's being drafted, which is the, mid-second round right now, versus where his tender is, which was the 9th. Is probably the best running back value in the entire league. And I don't know what the exact trade was that, he gave him up for Paul or what he got out of it. But for that was me. That's a surefire keeper that, he's on my do not touch list. And then also, he did trade Jacobs, and I get Jacobs' contract situation, but the only legitimate keeper that he has that I agree with right now is Hurts, because, Keenan Allen, he's 30 years old. They just drafted a rookie. He's been, last year he killed me in a couple leagues, just how much he was on IR. That's awful. And then, Devonta Smith, he's the RB2 in that offense. Like, I get it if you want the stack and you have A.J. Brown, that's a really good stack, I think. But you have Devonta Smith, and, that's, to me, that's second tier. That's not a RB1 wide, that's not a QB1 wide receiver 1 stack. And so, I felt like, honestly, had he just stayed in house and he had a fantastic season and roster last year. Had he stayed in house, just went Hurts, Chubb, and Jacobs. I mean, I honestly think he would have probably a top 4 or 5 team heading into the season.
Yeah, you're right. I mentioned that a couple weeks ago on our first episode that this is like we talk about real stacks. This is like it's a stack like it's like a stack 1B kind of thing. It's not really the stack. AJ Brown Hurts is the stack. Hurts and Devontae Smith is like 2 pancakes, not like 3, or 4. Tasia, based on who you know as far as projected keepers, who's the one guy you're kind of looking at and be like, I don't know about that.
No, that's official though, right?
It's projected keepers.
Projected.
Do you have a list of projected keepers?
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now.
While you're doing that, I will say we don't know. We kind of know what AJ Brown's like ceiling is, though, right? Like, he's not going to. AJ Brown's not going to do any better than we've seen before. Devontae Smith, we don't know what his ceiling is yet. He's still young, so he could do more than what he is. I think. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying with the whole. He's the weaker of the stack. It's like a silver dollar pancake stack.
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd you send that to me? You sent it to me.
I said it to your phone, but
oh, okay, yeah, I have
the
it.
doc in the private chat because
I got it. Weakest keepers.
You can kind of make a hot take here if you don't want to repeat who we've said so far. Because so far I said Paul, Alex said Stu, Cobb said ZB.
Yeah, ZB was the low-hanging fruit, huh?
I said
I was setting up the draft board. I couldn't really look at it while I was doing it.
God. It's tough, man. I would probably say if I have to pick someone else, I'd say, man, Cobb, you or I are probably the next on that list.
That's what I would have said too.
Really?
Not
buying your teams, huh?
No, man, I like CeeDee Lamb. I mean, Madison's like a 1-year rental. Let's be honest. And then Kenneth Walker, I'm still high on. I traded for him really early in the offseason, which probably bit me a little bit. A lesson for everybody. Wait till the draft happens in real football to make any trades in fantasy.
You got scared. All those trades happening, you want to get in. I don't blame you. Wait,
were there a lot of trades happening after the season ended?
Oh yeah, like 5 happened right away, and I
think 2 of them were me. So what do you mean?
No, Hotch and Roden had a big one, the Josh Allen fucking thing.
No, I don't think I got scared by anything. I just wanted to jump on, and I'm like, I want to have like a good something solidified going into like the off season. But I should have just waited. I didn't get that bad of value on him, but just still though. But yeah, you were choosing
yourself,
Lawrence. I mean, yeah, Wilson Olave, dude. You love those young receivers, huh?
Excited.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah,
it's pretty exciting. I mean, the Saints look good, but they both have a lot of competition. Both those guys. I mean, Wilson's got someone that Rodgers pretty much like asked to be signed in Lazard. I don't think Cobb's.
Marcus big Lazard guy.
And then Olave, I mean, Michael Thomas, but I'd say you or I next on the list.
Not bad. I mean, I like where both of your franchises are headed. You guys,
and I think that just speaks to where everyone is keeper wise this year. I think everyone across the board, like pretty good keepers, pretty good values.
Yeah.
I would have like after Tage and me, I would have said like Yags, but all of his guys are in the 20th, mainly because who knows what the Packers and Raiders offenses are going to look like, just question marks. But everyone.
I would also put Adam up there too, not because of the talent, but just because he doesn't pick till round 3.
Yeah,
that's a little, and he's a late pick, right?
Late pick.
So he doesn't pick till late 3, which is pretty brutal, man. Like your first, and so like.
Well, that's if he keeps Derrick Henry, which rumors are there's rumors out there that he's going Drake London instead of Derrick Henry.
Well, okay, even if that's the case, and Henry early or London kind of early. It's not like London's like a 20th round tender. His 5th is no,
Yeah,
He gets a second. He gets a second back.
especially when Adam
he gets a
has-
second back. It's true. It comes down to what would you guys rather have? Henry and no second rounder, or London and your early second available, and no 5th. That's also true.
Damn, I don't know. That's why we're doing the mock. We'll see how it
Yeah.
shapes out. But
There you go. Yeah, we'll be able to tell that afterwards.
Yeah, I kind of like the bring up the second if I'm in Adam's position, just because yet again has the cleanest dashboard out of anybody, or draft board out of anybody making
No
no
trades.
trades. So
Did you say dashboard?
yeah, it's a dashboard.
Well, we have a dashboard right here. Is what we have.
Listen, man, I'm talking about dashboards at work all the time. I got
So based on the news the knowledge that we have with the Adams draft, we're gonna go with Drake London as his third keeper.
Oh, I was going with Henry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because you told me yesterday that it was or 2
He
days
was
ago.
considering it.
Ooh, Cobb starting some. Yeah. I'd be
Well,
like,
I can give you.
Because Adam told me Derrick Henry a couple weeks ago, and then Cobb told me yesterday Drake, or 2 days ago Drake London. So
yeah, smoke screen season, huh, Cobb?
I'll read. He said the early second for Henry is tough versus 5 for London. If London was anywhere other than Atlanta, it'd be a lot easier to decide.
Jeez, do you read out text messages now? God. I'm never texting you my opinion ever again on my team.
That was a very inconsequential text.
Yeah, is it? Some would call that breaking. Some aggregators on Twitter would call that breaking news. All right.
The news is already broken.
So Kleiman's tweeting that out right now. And it's breaking news.
Stu
I'm fixing the lines.
Yeah.
Stu just texted me, LOL, I think a 1-year rental for Madison is the same idea for Keenan Allen. Just disagree on Smith. The dude is young and in great offense. Defending his keepers.
We disagreed on
I didn't dog Smith.
about
Alex did.
calling it a weak stack because I disagreed on that. But
It's not the best stack on that team.
no, but like it's like, would you rather, like, it's not, you're acting like it's a big downgrade. Like you said, Burrow and Higgins, but like I'd give it a slight upgrade to that.
AJ Brown was pretty healthy last year, but in Tennessee, he was always dinged up a lot. So Philly in general was very healthy all last year. Let's see if that luck keeps up. All right.
Yeah.
So
Stu also got a 6th and a 4th on top of Devontae Smith for Chubb. That's what the trade ended up being. So
that's good.
that's a decent value.
All right, so we're gonna go to the mock. Cobb, I want you to share the Excel spreadsheet on the what do you call it? Present it.
And if you guys look on the spreadsheet, I also added a tab where it says mock players available, and it's all the players. I basically took the top 100 list, and I'm deleting the players that are being kept right now.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Cobb, do you know? Can you present? There's a thing at the bottom that says present. You should have access to doing so.
Boom. How's that look?
Boom.
I don't know how we do. Do we want to zoom in here, like in the
Can we get a tighter zoom?
like that?
Yeah, that's good.
Fantastic.
That's the real deal.
That's tight.
I'm gonna have to open up 2 of these bad boys. Jesus,
Look at that, Stu. Stu likes it. Stu's weighing in here. Key.
this is like a dress rehearsal for me. Fucking taking down everyone's.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah. Do you need this?
So we just to make a little to let everybody in the league know, we did because we were going to be doing this as Cobbs this year. We didn't get the whiteboard. So what we did was we actually used the funds that Barry left us with his last big thing for the league. He left his funds, and we bought a draft board with all the stickers and stuff, so you can put your stickers of the guys you draft on the draft board on the night of the draft. So it's a nice little touch for the BL Plus to have that.
Barry's Funds, maybe a potential new team name.
Barry's Funds, yeah. That should be Paul's team name based on everything that's going on over there.
No. Paul should be Barry's Tab because that's what his rent's going on.
That's pretty good, actually. So we got 4 of us, so each of us will get 3 teams. I think in this scenario, do you guys want to just no people don't know where your head is at? Do you guys want somebody else to get your team?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say we could also just alternate picks, so it's not like we're picking for each team, but
That's true. I mean,
I guess it makes it easier to keep track of the players if it's only three teams, so that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess let's go to the first 3. Roden, Alex, Cobb. Geez, 2 of you guys. So Roden, Tasia, take Roden. Alex, get Cobb. Cobb, get Alex. ZB, I'll take. Actually, to make it easier, I'll go both Zachs, ZB, ZT for me. And then I guess I can't see the other half of the board.
Jesus.
Then Hotch, Tasia takes Hotch. Yags goes to Cobb. Paul goes to Alex. I'm totally fucking off right now.
Let's just go in order here. We'll start from the start, and then we'll walk across the top. So start with
You should just put everyone's name in parentheses next to the guy they're picking for on the board.
Okay.
I mean, it just makes it easier instead of you trying to, remember all
true.
that.
Yeah. Okay, so Roden.
Tasia.
Tasia will do Roden. Cobb gets Alex. Alex gets Cobb.
Alex Cobb, key.
Ooh, good pitcher.
Ooh. Jesus.
Yes.
You said you're getting both?
Yeah, I'll take both Z's.
That's pretty key.
And then Alex will go with Tasia. Cobb goes Yags.
Treat me right, boy.
Oh yeah.
Tasia goes Paul.
Ooh. Barry's tab, baby.
Then so Tasia has 2 now.
Yes, I have 2.
Okay, so then Tasia goes Stu.
Ooh. Stew.
And then Cobb goes Dash. Then Alex goes Adam. And then I'll take Matty Ice.
That's pretty key.
That's pretty key. All right. So let's get down to it, baby. All right. Best available. Okay, so Kelsey's out there. Bijan's out there. All right. For Hotch, I'm going to go Bijan Robinson because everyone knows that's who he's taking at number 1. So Bijan goes to Hotch at that 1 spot. I can't believe Roden traded that. Yeah, that's who he's taking.
Wait, did that trade just happen recently?
No, that was the first trade that happened this offseason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was back in like January after the draft.
That was when you wanted to make the deal for Kenneth Walker, like right after that.
And he's already saying that he wants him. You guys know that for a fact?
Oh, yeah. He said it since April.
Okay.
All right. I think the next pick is also pretty obvious. I think it's going to be we're going to go Kelsey here for Alex. I think it's the biggest positional. It just having the advantage in positional rounds. Alex does need a running back. Could use a receiver here, but receivers are deep. I think Kelsey's a big get here.
That is a huge get. Alex, would you be happy with that?
I really like the top 4 or so players being sent back. So I'd be comfortable with whoever, if Hotch ends up taking Kelsey, I'd be comfortable with who's there. But, still have to fine-tune things, but he's definitely probably the number 1 person that I'm targeting, unless anything else.
Pants over there over this.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, he's a can't-miss guy.
Yeah. All right, so I'm up on the clock for Cobb. So here's the situation with Cobb. In speaking with him now, I'm not going to say exactly what he said, but I think he likes Kupp as like the best available player. But the reality is, if you look at his keepers, he's got 2 receivers and a quarterback, so he needs a running back. So just because of that, the best running back available right now from Fantasy Pros rankings is Saquon. I think he's the most surefire running back that's there right now. No contract issues. He's already resolved all that. He's healthy. So I'm going to have Cobb going Saquon here.
How you feel about that, Cobb?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't disagree with anything Alex said. I think it's going to be. I'm still trying to decide what I'm looking for. Obviously, Cup's hamstring injury makes it a little interesting, so it's not going to be a surefire thing. But at the same time, even without the hamstring injury, he has injury history, and also Stafford is the quarterback who also has injury history. So
yeah,
never know. But kind of like Alex's position, I kind of like the top 3 or 4 available before the drop off happens. So can't really go wrong. Or I'm cool with any of these guys.
So I see that you have Derrick Henry and the players available. Did we go for Adam for this purposes? Did we go with Henry or Drake London?
We had Henry for Adam for these purposes.
Okay,
right, I'll remove Henry's name and add London on here.
Okay, but I don't think that's going to change anything. I think if the board goes the way this is supposed to go, I think our guy ZB goes. He's tuning into the mock right now. I think our guy goes Cooper Kupp. He already has. I think he's keeping with Cook. He's keeping Cook.
Ridley and Pitts.
And Pitts. Okay, and then wait, he's not keeping Pitts. He's keeping Rashad White.
Oh, well, we had him keeping Pitts.
Oh, is that the case? All right.
He's keeping Rashad White. So he needs a receiver at that point. He goes Kupp. Boom.
It's pretty good.
And he just texted me saying White probably. So it's probably gonna be White, Cook, Ridley, and then another receiver there. I mean, that's a solid team. That's 4 solid guys right there.
All right.
And Matthew Berry loves all those guys. Not Marcus Berry. That's a good thing, probably.
Marcus Berry doesn't know who those guys are.
No, he doesn't. Oh, what a disaster. Okay, and then ZT. This is not the pick I have, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm not drafting for myself because I know ZT traded me a first. Okay. So ZT's going to go. So we talked to him earlier. He's keeping Ramondre, Lamar, and St. Brown. God, he's a weird guy. I think you have to go. If Jonathan Taylor is there, I think you will go Jonathan Taylor just because that's a really good value pick, and ZT's big on value. I think
Jonathan Taylor.
Yes, if Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, because we have Adam. We have Paul keeping Justin Herbert.
Oh, that's who's going between those two?
Yeah. So I think Jonathan Taylor goes here. I debatably would say Jonathan Taylor would go where Alex had Saquon, but I think Jonathan Taylor goes here. ZT's not letting him go any further than that. Look at Taylor. Look at his chops. He wants Jonathan Taylor to fall in that next pick.
Yeah, I already have Jonathan Taylor in a league, in the keeper league. I think one's enough.
True.
So, all right. So right now, Taja's up. He's got 2 running backs and receivers, so Kenneth Walker, CD, and Madison. So he kind of can go wherever at this point.
Good.
I don't think he's tied down to a certain position based off needs. I don't know which direction he's going to go, but right now, I think I'm going to have Taja take Joe Mixon.
Interesting.
I feel like he'd be looking for another stable running back that he trusts. Doesn't have any contract issues right now. No tweaks in camp. Someone that's reliable.
Yeah, I like Mixon.
Wait, you like that pick, Taja? You would like that pick for yourself?
Yeah, I mean it's a slight as far as like value goes from what you have right now and who I have listed. It would be a slight like drop in tiers, right? Going from like Saquon, Kupp, JT to Mixon. When you drop in tiers, it really opens it up. It makes it a harder decision. But it also opens it up with options to kind of go where you want. Whereas when you're stuck with one guy from a previous tier, you kind of feel like you have to take him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is right. Your pick is where the next tier begins.
If this is exactly who's available, then yes.
Yeah. Yeah. If people go back and on some of these people, yeah, sure. Jonathan Taylor's the one I think that's still. I know Paul's talking a big game right now, but I think Jonathan Taylor's going to be his.
Yeah, but with the way this league's set up, even if it wasn't Taylor, Herbert could go top 7 or 8 too.
I think it just depends what happens with him, because I know he returned to camp, but he's still being weird about his injury, his fake injury. So I don't know the thing about our league is that our draft is so late, so close to. It's less than 7 days before the first game. So if JT is still not suiting up, then I think he's definitely going to send back JT and go Herbert just to play it safe. But I think if JT is returning to practice, I think at that point he's probably going to lean JT.
And Stu's weighing in here, says if Henry goes back in, Tage is in a pretty good spot. What do you think? Think you're in a good spot if Henry goes back in?
Yeah, all these guys have questions though, right? Taylor dinged up and didn't have a good year. Mixon, yards per carry wise and production wise, didn't have a good year. Kupp was injured and injured again. Saquon, you're in a scary place if Saquon's the most stable guy left because he didn't play for 3 years. So the other guys are rookie who we have no idea and on one of the worst teams in the NFL. Kelsey is pretty much the only surefire safe guy in here.
That's true.
No questions, no problems with his history. Take him and don't even have a question about it. Everyone else has got questions at this point. Even if Henry was available, he would have questions.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I think everyone's waiting for his decline to happen.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Henry and JT getting sent back would make the first round extremely interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even honestly, Paul's decision is going to be the most interesting one between JT and Herbert because, what Tasia mentioned, what do you guys think if Herbert's here, Paul keeps JT, does Herbert go in this first round because the next QB is Deshaun Watson maybe, and there's going to be the competition for that. So, I don't know. I could easily see Herbert going in the top 10 here if back.
It's a very quarterback happy league. So yeah.
I don't know if I'd call this a reload the year, but I have to say, out of 8+ years I've been in this league, I don't think I've ever seen a first round in terms of who's being sent back be this stacked. Even if JT and Henry get kept, those top 4, all 4 of those are going in, the first round of, redrafts. And if you add, JT, that's, basically 5 players that are being that would be redrafted in the first round being sent back. I don't think I've ever seen more than maybe 2 players that were first round ADPs being sent back in this league. So I wouldn't call it necessarily a reload year, but I think it's pretty interesting seeing that.
Well, if you look at all those guys too, they're all, I believe, top 3, except for Robinson because he hasn't played yet. But the rest of the guys are top 2 round tenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's JT? Is he 2 or 3?
He's 3.
Okay, so 2 and 3, which are all really high. So that's when it becomes for a while they're no-brainer keepers because you're these guys are top 3 picks, but after a while it's when you're dealing with guys like Devonta Smith for example at a good value, or someone else at a 10th round keeper compared to one of these guys who as they get a little older they have a little more question marks. You're man, do I want to free up my first round pick and keep that other guy who's pretty good, not as good as Kupp, or keep Kupp and not have a first anymore. So that's why you're seeing these guys start to come on because they do have question marks now.
Yeah. Yeah. And this also, what Alex kind of touched on, this is also why, when we talk about people saying, oh, we need to reset keepers or do the whole, take the 1 round off them each year or whatever. This draft right here shows you this is why you don't need to do that because it automatically gets refilled. as time goes on, people don't want to keep these top 3-round guys anymore. People just want to kind of like let it go, and they have somebody with better value. So that's kind of why you don't have to do that in keeper leagues. One of the arguments against that. But Cobb, you got Yaglu here with this pick.
Yeah, I got Yaglu and it's 2 Alex. So I actually have both of these guys.
Oh shit.
I'm sure Alex, if he was in this situation, he'd be licking his chops with a stack still being on the board for him and still needing a receiver. I would say Alex would go T. Higgins here.
Damn.
If Higgins drops, I think that would be no-brainer.
He totally didn't pick Higgins for me because he wanted him to have it. I know you bastard. I know.
But hey, back-to-back Bengals players.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty key. And no, I think Alex having Jacobs, Eckler, Kelsey, Burrow. I think Higgins fits in perfectly with this team, giving him again not the 1A stack that we were talking about, but we give him the one very good 1B stack, and this is where we start seeing the tier drop off, where I don't think it would make much sense to go anywhere else other than this stack wide receiver wise. So.
Alex, what do you think about this? Because you were dogging the Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts stack earlier, and you're getting the Cincinnati version of that.
That's not the same. Come on, dude.
I mean, well, so here's the thing. You have to look at it 2 ways. Like, one, I do think that Higgins is a little bit better than Devonta Smith, but the way you have to look at it too, the benefit of our league being, basically 1 running back, 1 receiver, and 3 flex is that in theory, you could basically start, 4 receivers, 1 running back, and vice versa, 4 running backs, 1 receiver. So like technically, even though, someone is your quote unquote, wide receiver 1, if you're loaded up in running back, like you could kind of flip it. Like if you have all 3 of your flexes who are running backs who are, phenomenal, you're quote unquote, wide receiver 1, all he has to be is like, basically flex 3 value. If you look at it that way, if you kind of flip flop it. And so, given that, you look at my roster and you still have guys like Jacobs, you still have, obviously Kelsey, people like Eckler on the roster, and then
AFC West All-Stars.
You throw a guy like Higgins in there. I'm not relying on Higgins to be my stud. Yes, technically he's my wide receiver 1, but when you look at it that way, he's not my top 1 or 2, basically aside from quarterback, like flex options, like wide receiver, tight end, running back option. We look at it that way. So like really Higgins is like what, my 3rd, 4th option at that point versus, Devonta Smith is, potentially his, if he's keeping a quarterback, Devonta Smith is probably like a top 2 option for him. If not, maybe top 1 option if you like him over, Keenan Allen. So to me, that's the difference.
Logic.
It's good logic. I like it. All right, Tasia, you are picking for.
You're picking for.
You're picking for me in the poll. Yeah. Or actually, no. Who's picking
I'm
for
picking
me?
for you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Cobb has a lot of first rounders.
Yeah.
Back-to-back first rounders for me. This is an interesting pick. I think this is really where the tier drop off starts. I think it might have started right before Higgins, assuming that Henry and JT go back to the draft. I also think everyone at the end of the first round, like we talked about, is really happy if they were to go, because it does push back some players that they would have expected to go, at least like Higgins, for instance, or some other guys to go 3 picks in front of them. But, with Marcus, he has Pollard, Mahomes, and Debo. He can really go any direction here. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes wide receiver. There's one in particular that I'm looking at that I think he's a big fan of, maybe a little reunion, but I'm going to go Najee Harris here. I could see him playing it a little safe, kind of more, not a flashy name, but probably almost as guaranteed production as you can get. Not a ton of competition, improved O-line in Pittsburgh. And just having, again, that guaranteed production with Najee, I think that's a safe choice with a lot of other people in here having some question marks. So I'm gonna go Najee Harris.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that pick at all. It's a safe running back pick.
Yeah.
And the running backs where the value is at this point in the draft. Receiver is it's not where the value is at all. You're taking a receiver right here. After T. Higgins, it's a huge drop off with the receiver. It's not even close. Running back, they're all kind of muddled together a little bit. But receiver is a huge drop off from T. Higgins to the next guy.
Right. And that's what like with Higgins, like Najee in this case, if JT and Derrick Henry aren't there, so he's probably getting taken a few picks earlier. So
Definitely.
at least in my opinion, but
Definitely.
we'll see.
Tasia, you are picking for Stu now.
Hurts, Smith, Allen.
Stu, we know you're on the chat, so please weigh in on Tasia's pick for you.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna overthink it. I'm gonna go ATN.
That's a good pick.
Ooh.
That's a good pick. If I was drafting right now, that's who I would want in my next right
Yeah,
after.
you're damn right. So you want boy?
Oh, Najee and Etienne, dude. Woo, that's a good flex right there.
Yeah.
I like it. Solid RB. Flashback to his rookie season. Stu was the one who drafted Etienne the second round when he got hurt his rookie year. So there you go.
Jeez.
Time to have some makeup draft.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants to be on Stu's team now. All right, yeah. Right back to you, Marcus. I'm going to go a guy that I was thinking about picking in the first pick. You did just say that the wide receivers are not the value here, but I also don't think you're really interested in reaching on any of these other running backs here. I'm going to go Amari Cooper. I think you're not a keeper.
I probably wait to get him, hoping he's there with my second round pick. There's somebody else I would go right here. But it's not bad. It definitely it fulfills a need, and it looks like I'm building my same team as I had last year a little bit, or minus Kelsey, but we'll miss those days. Yeah, but I do like it though. Solid. So yeah, with my pick, it's pretty easy. This is the guy I would have gone at my pick, and I know this guy's ripe for. This is right up Hotch's avenue right here. Going Gibbs. So Hotch gets both rookie running backs.
That's the only guy he would go there right there if he was available.
It's a total Hodge pick, and if he gets him, he's going to make a big deal about getting Gibbs at that spot if Gibbs lasts there. I personally don't think Gibbs is going to last that long. I know how this league is. Everyone loves the rookie running back, especially the one who gets a lot of hype.
Yep.
And this league especially. And if Hodge were to get him, Hodge would think the draft's over, and he would go home after having a round one of Bijan and Gibbs. He would think it's over at that point, which he's got a point. But yeah, that's where I think he would go. Do you guys agree with that? If Gibbs was there?
Yeah.
Gibbs there, that's the only person he would take.
Yeah. I was starting to type it out before you even said it. So.
Yeah.
If you do take Gibbs, though, it'd be interesting to see who he goes with, because that could be a spot where, we've seen Hotch reach in the past on certain players. So I don't know at that point if he favors anyone over another, or if you see him take kind of a reach pick if Gibbs is off the board. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. All right. So Tasia, you have Paul.
So he's got Herbert, Chubb, and who's his third guy?
Mark Andrews.
Andrews, and that's right. And then did he draft someone already earlier?
He did not have a first round pick. So no, he hasn't picked yet. This is his first pick.
Herbert, Chubb, Andrews. Yeesh. Pauly boy. Oh, Pauly boy. The Pauly boys are Pauly boy.
And I love that you have Paul's pick, by the way. The little rivalry you guys got. It's cute.
Could be a key pick.
So BPA, because he doesn't even have a receiver yet. You got a quarterback, a tight end, and a running back. The values are so close right here. I'm going to go. I'm going to go DK.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty. I mean, again, it's that whole tier thing, man. These guys are very, very similar. I gave the positional weight. I added a little more to that because he needs a receiver. Yeah.
Although I will say I think the running backs. I don't know.
No, I mean there are, but he doesn't. He does pick in a couple more. I could have gone running back there.
Yeah.
All right, let me redo that one then.
Really?
Redo it? Yeah, I'll redo it. I forgot he picks in like 3 picks. Go Aaron Jones.
It's a good pick. Yeah, Paul's a big name guy. Paul likes Aaron Jones.
He does, doesn't he?
Cobb, you got my pick.
Yeah, in this case, I was probably going to go between those two for Marcus Ayers. So I'm going to go ahead and give him DK. I think he'd be ecstatic if DK fell to him for a second round pick. So a team of Najee, Amari, DK, Debo, Pollard, and Mahomes looks pretty good starting lineup. Almost already has a full starting lineup already, if not already completed. So
Pretty damn good.
yeah, not bad.
So we got Stu's Hotch in this pick.
You, yeah.
All right, so Hotch has Gibbs, Bijan, Justin Jefferson,
Chase and Fields.
Chase, Justin Fields. So he can pretty much do anything here. I believe, man. So last year he had T.J. Hawkinson, correct? And that really helped him a lot as far as getting further in the playoffs because T.J. Hawkinson went nuts in the playoffs. I could see him going. I could see him just wanting to round out his starting lineup by going T.J. Hawkinson here. That's what I think. That's what I think he would do because he's also a loyal guy too, and I could see him going loyal and going to T.J. Hawkinson. Do you, or Cobb? You're kind of smirking. Do you think he would do that or no?
No, I think there's a player on the board that I would. Well, does he have another starting spot left? Or are you saying that his starting roster is already set?
Fields, Bijan. I think his starting line would be set with this. Chase, Jefferson, Gibbs. Okay, no, he would have one last. He would have one last. Yeah, this person right here would give him his. Yeah, so
the tight end would fill it. The other person would go to his bench.
Yes, I believe.
Okay, then that makes it. Then I'm not as sure as I was. But
who was you? Because I was thinking Breece Hall and letting him sit there because it's a big name guy and it's also a young guy too. I could see him doing that. But who are you thinking for Hodge there?
I would think he'd go DJ Moore.
That's
a very Hodge pick.
That's true. He's excited about having a receiver in Chicago for the first time. In the stack.
I was thinking Breece as well because I feel like he would flip out if he was able to get Bijan, Gibbs, and Breece.
Yeah.
It's the Dalvin thing is making it really interesting where Breece is going to fall. And it's a keeper league, so I'd imagine that Breece gets picked before Dalvin, but at the same time, you don't know.
Yeah. Someone who's trying to win this year might go get Dalvin.
Especially like in the first few weeks, Dalvin should have that backfield.
Oh yeah,
I could see Stu taking Dalvin like before Breece Hall. I mean, Stu's a big win now kind of guy. It's a good pick for him. Get the old guy.
So who'd you go here?
I ended up going. I'm gonna go Hawkinson. I think he's gonna be loyal to the guy who pretty much outscored Kelsey in the semifinals game and then dominated again in the fucking championship. So weak. Tasia, you got your boy Paul.
I think that makes it pretty easy. I think I'll go DJ Moore there.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, you just say you needed a receiver if I went Aaron Jones.
Yeah. I mean, it's debatable as if DJ Moore is in this category with this next up.
Yeah. This comes down to just preference because they're all around. I mean,
yeah, it's all different types of guys.
They're all in the same area here, you know.
Yeah, they all have their knocks to them. The next ones we got Cobb, Yaglu, ZB. ZB's got this pick here. Okay. Okay, so ZB, Rashad White, Cup. Who was Cook? And who's the other one?
Ridley.
That's right. So 2 running backs and 2 receivers. Ooh, a QB run here? No, I hope he doesn't do that. I think he goes. Shit, man. I could see him going Terry McLaurin here. Because you can go because he has 2 running backs and 2 receivers, so I could see him going either one here. So I'm going to go Terry McLaurin. I think that's for me personally. I think it's the best receiver on the board.
Again, preference. There's not much separating, I think, DJ Moore and McLaurin at this point.
No. I mean, well, the quarterback situation. I mean, what's your preference there? Potential of Jacoby Brissett. If Brissett's the guy,
Brissett's more accurate than Justin Fields is.
No, I know that. I'm saying if Brissett's the guy, I think that actually enhances McLaurin's value because Brissett.
Totally. Yeah.
Brissett last year, Cooper was a top 10 receiver. When Watson came in, Cooper was not even in the same avenue.
If I had to rely on a quarterback to save my life by throwing an out route, I would go Brissett over Fields. All right.
Yes, me too. And Yaglu's weighing in here. He's finally seeing how miserable the first few rounds of the draft are going to be. Thanks to Barry. He said, "Am I ever going to draft?" Goddamn Barry.
Yeah, dude.
All right, so I'm up with Tasia. So right now, Tasia has, I believe, 3 because I went with Mixon in the first round. So
Mixon, Walker.
Yeah.
Mixon, Walker, Lamb,
Madison.
So right now, Tasia has 1 receiver and 3 running backs. So there's not really any good quarterbacks available. So I think he's just going to sit and wait for quarterback and probably take someone later. So at this point, I don't think he wants to be super over leveraged with running back. So I think he's going to go receiver at this point. There's a couple guys that I would peg Tasia as being like his guys. Specifically Hopkins and Godwin right here. That's not a knock. I mean, those are Tasia's guys, and those are at the top of the list right now of who's available. So I think he's probably going one of them. I'm gonna go D-Hop here for Tasia. I don't know his personal preference, but I think there might be 1 or 2 other guys that he could end up going with, but I think it's a short list in terms of who he's making a decision on.
I wouldn't be upset with that at all. Again, he's right in that range as well.
I was kind of hoping that Tasia would have chosen D-Hop for Paul, skim back for his remarks at the last draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just skewer both your picks. Okay, so I got ZT here, right?
Yeah. Is anyone documenting the teams?
Yeah, I'm writing down my notebook here.
All right, Key.
Okay, so ZT, so JT, St. Brown, Lamar, Ramondre Stevenson. So he has no receive. Okay, he's got 1 receiver. And Jonathan Taylor. Okay, so he's pretty set at running back. He's got 2 freaking bell cows on that squad. Yeah, I don't see ZT going with Godwin or. Okay, I think he goes Jerry Jeudy actually. ZT goes Jerry Jeudy.
He's hoping McLaurin falls there for sure.
Yeah. I was about to say. Well, actually, I don't think he's that high on McLaurin because when I was talking about him for keeping McLaurin, he was like, "No, I'm not keeping McLaurin. It's too much of an unknown." I was like, "Oh yeah, but I thought you were a big fan of Howell," and he was like, "Well, I like Howell's potential, but I also don't want to. I'm not going to buy into it." All right, well, you kind of are, but whatever. But yeah, I could see him going Jeudy. I think Jeudy. They have a lot of injuries to that wide receiver room. He's like the only guy they have there. So I could see him having a bad year with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. And if that does happen, I think Russell Wilson's officially cooked. There's no saving him. But I could see Jeudy going off and being the only guy.
Judy's probably gone too if that happens.
Yeah, well, there was rumors he wanted out last year. So, yeah, I can see Jeudy here. It's a good value pick for ZT.
So I got Cobb for his next pick. I honestly,
no. Is it Cobb? Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, Roden's keeping Diggs. So right now, I think Cobb's pretty happy at this pick.
Is he?
Yeah, I think there's someone out there he really would be happy if they fell to him. Now, we'll have to see how training camp plays out, but at this point, he's pretty well-rounded. He's got 1 running back in Saquon. He's got a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence and then 2 receivers in Olave and Garrett Wilson. There's a pretty common theme with his team. he's got a lot of youth to it. He's got a lot of hype and upside. So I think he's taking Breece Hall right here.
I think you'd be pretty happy about that. Would you, Cobb?
Yeah.
Or would you risk waiting till round 3?
I mean, you never know with Hodge picking right behind you.
True.
You gotta be aware of your surroundings in this draft. Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be pretty good. The Dalvin news, I don't know. I still think Dalvin has some left in the tank. Breece coming back from that injury, I don't really know how he's going to look.
He's stash pick.
What?
It's a good stash pick. Like stashing like a European player in the NBA.
Yeah. It's like, who knows when he's going to be back or when he's going to, be the guy, or they're going to start off the season splitting. I kind of project that Dalvin's going to be splitting the care, have most of the carries in that backfield. So I think I'd be surprised if he was there, but at the same time, I'd have to think about that because, yeah, do I want to go stash pick here this early when I still have to fill out some sure starters?
Because even in second round pick, I mean, I don't know if we're going to see the flash of Breece Hall this year with Dalvin that he's going to be enough for him to be a keeper at the second round pick, unless he just fucking tears it up this year, which I don't see happening.
Right, and I think Yags would be a little disappointed since it's going to be his first pick here in a second. That he was probably hoping that a running back would fall to him. Didn't really seem to happen. So, yeah, Breece is going to be one of the more interesting players to watch for this these first couple rounds.
So you're picking now for Yaglu.
Yeah. So I just said, I think Yags was hoping that a running back would fall to him. There's a few out there, but I think they'd be kind of reaches at this point. You might go best available because it is a PPR league. I don't think that the talent separation is that big between the next highest available running back and 3 or 4 from now. But again, that's just me. This is a tough one. Man. I think what I think Yags gets scared about the running backs. I think he goes Miles Sanders here. Screw it.
Ooh. Not bad. Yaglu, I know you're in the comments here, so please weigh in on the Miles Sanders pick with your first pick of the draft. About 2 hours after the draft started, Yaglu is his first pick in. And I don't think he doesn't pick again for 2 more rounds, I think, after this. I think this is the only pick for 2 more rounds after this. Because he doesn't have a third. Yeah. Okay, so Hotch is next. Okay. So Hotch. Okay. I think Hotch is gonna go. I have Hotch, right?
Yep.
Okay. I think he's gonna go with talk about it. Either a stat. We're talking about stash picks. Actually, no. I think he goes Drake London here. I see Drake London's still out there. I think that's where he goes. He likes the young guys. I mean, he treats this keeper league like it's a dynasty league, even though you only keep 3 guys. And he's going to go Drake London. And somehow,
Atlanta offense key.
That's true, actually. Yeah. And if he had it his way, he was going to go to the Bears offense and the Atlanta offense, 2 offenses that are just shot in the dark. But yeah, I think he goes Drake London there. Cobb, you agree?
Yeah, I think if Breece or London fall to Hodge there, he'd probably take them. I don't think he's going to be enticed by any of these more veteran players.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's my back-to-back keeper. So then Cobb's up. Let's see. So Cobb is pretty well-rounded right now. He's got a quarterback, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, so he can go anywhere. An interesting pick. It just depends what he wants to do because he picks late in the 4th round coming up. So he could probably wait on tight end. He would if he went tight end here. I mean, you have Pitts, Kittle, and you also had Goddard, who's available right now. Because it's a decent amount of names, Waller's still available too. I think he might wait till the 4th to go tight end. So I think he's just truly going to go best available. right now in terms of flex guys. And if you look at his team, he's got a lot of young talent who has high upside. I feel like at this point, you're talking about his like flex, I think 2, maybe flex 3 that he's drafting. I think he wants just a stable guy, someone who, you know, can kind of anchor down his team. So probably a veteran here. I think he goes Godwin. Not the sexiest pick, but I think he has a lot of flashy players already, and I think he knows he can probably wait till the 4th to get a good tight end. So I think Godwin's just a good veteran to just kind of good floor guy for his kind of flex 2, flex 3 there.
Cobb, you like it or not like it?
I'm pretty shaky on the Buccaneers offense. But from what I've been hearing, Godwin, I mean, end of the year, Godwin looked really good. Obviously, it's going to be a different quarterback situation down there in Tampa. They should be throwing it a lot because they should be behind. But I mean, I like Alex's analysis, kind of going more safe route, more stable player here. And if the tight end run hasn't happened yet, then I'd probably hold off because I do like some of the tight end names out there still, and some of the other flex players out there too. So I think the stable pick would make sense here.
All right, that's fair. So ZB, okay. So ZB, last we saw from him, he had Rachaad White, Cooper Kupp, James Cook, Calvin Ridley, and Scary Terry McLaurin. So here, I think we're almost at the end of his starting lineup. So now he's a quarterback and a tight end. I don't know. I think he could could start the quarterback run here. But I might do a little something fun here actually. I don't know if he'll do this, but I think ZB is going to go a little fun one here. They got ZB could go Alvin Kamara right here. And say fuck it. I'd say he already has his running backs and receivers. He goes Alvin Kamara here. That's a guy on his bench with 2 game suspension, correct? 2 or 3? 3 games. He's in, and then he's got another guy who can just put in the immediate lineup, and that makes his like receiver running backs pretty solid there. And then, I think Kamara would be a great pick there. I could definitely see him lasting to this round too. And plus, that's 3rd round tender. That's not a bad. That's not bad if he looks back to his old ways. I don't know if he will, but I mean that's pretty solid right there. Especially if Rachaad White doesn't pan out or James Cook doesn't pan out, Kamara 3rd round.
Yeah, the Kendre Miller injury also makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
So I'd like that pick for ZB.
So Tasia's up right now. So again, Tasia does not have a quarterback, but I think based off who's available, like I said earlier, I think he's going to wait a while to take someone. He's got 3 running backs, 2 receivers, so he's pretty well rounded. I think right now, Tasia at this pick, he starts the tight end run. I think he takes George Kittle right here.
Really? Is that what you think?
Wow.
Ooh. That's his
By
boy.
the way, still no quarterback being taken is not like this league at all. A quarterback will be taken in the first 3 rounds by now. So
there's usually more.
Yeah, but that's because like eight quarterbacks have been kept. That's why.
ZB just texted me saying I would consider him. I'm not high on him. I had him last year, so I'm a little sour on him. Ooh, berry sweet and sour.
Ooh.
Yeah. But Jamal Williams won't repeat, but is a legitimate touches eater. I might go tight end there, so he could be the one who goes Kittle there. So Alex, you're like a pick off on the tight end run.
Close though.
Yeah.
Who's this?
It's me now for you. So I think if Tasia takes a tight end here, I think you also take a tight end, and I think you go a little. I think you go a little unorthodox here. I don't think this is a guy that you would typically see on your team, but I think you're pretty comfortable with your starting lineup right now. You have Mahomes, Pollard, Debo, Najee, Amari, and DK.
Fun team.
I think you can take a little bit of a risk, and you kind of like the third round right here, especially if you're replacing Kelsey. Let's go Pitts. Get a nice young tight end here with some potential value if it pans out.
I do like this. Hey man, this is good. After watching the top 100 thing, I was rethinking my whole not keeping Kelsey bit because watching the Kelsey highlights is so tough to let him go. But looking at this draft and seeing how things are, I kind of like I like the way my team is shaped out. And Pitts would be a nice up and coming young guy to replace Kelsey to follow the tight end university team I had over here. Yeah, I love that pick. Who's up now?
Tasia
Tasia for Paul.
Tasia for your boy Paul.
All right, so we got Herbie, we got Najee, Moore, and then Chubb. That's it? No, he's got one more. Andrews, tight end. So he still needs – he's got a pretty full roster. He still needs 2 more flexes, right? More. Yeah. No. So running back, flex, receiver. Yeah, 2 more flexes. Oosh. All right. It's kind of a tough one. I'm going to go. I'm going to go Tyler Lockett.
Interesting.
I think Lockett outscored DK last year.
I believe he did, yeah.
Like a large margin, maybe even too. So
I think
round later, it's pretty good value.
I think Lockett's been one of the players that has outperformed his ADP for like the last 6
Yeah, he's one of those guys every year. He's so not sexy, and everyone's always like, oh, fine, I'll take Lockett. But like, I mean, solid performer, and he kind of needs like a. If he's getting his second flex now, he needs that guy to be a rock. So it's a good pick at this point for him.
Ooh, Paul likes it. He would take him.
Ooh.
Short Kings stick together. Hashtag lock it in.
Yeah.
You know your Paul. You guys guard each other so much on the b-ball court. You guys know how you guys draft. I like
we're
it.
just instinct.
I like the correlation there.
Okay, so we got Stu and Tasia. Oh yeah, so Tasia, you're picking for Stu.
All right, so Stu's got Hurts a quarterback, 18 a running back, Devonta Smith a receiver, Keenan Allen flex. He didn't have any other pick, right? That's it?
I believe that's it, yeah.
Keenan Allen flex. So he also needs 18. Okay, because Hawkins had that one. So he also needs 2 flexes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He's got 1 receiver. He's got 2 receivers. He's got 1. I'm gonna go dead serious Dobbins here, dude. I'm going J.K. Dobbins.
Interesting.
I like that pick.
I think it's a really good offense. They're gonna have the ball a lot. I don't care how much they say Lamar Jackson's slinging it. I think they're going to be long drive offense, a lot of plays being run. Dobbins will probably be like top 10 in red zone touches. I think it's a good pick.
Stu's pro Dobbins. He likes the pick.
Yeah.
2 for 2, Tish. 2 in
Hey,
a row
man.
right there.
I know my sheet.
All right, Cobb, you got me now.
Yeah, I think you're pretty happy with the board right now. There's some. I'd probably, if you didn't have Debo, I think I'd go Ayuk here for you. I think that's a good. I think you're a fan of him, and it's just good value for him in the third year. But you have your entire starting lineup right now, so this is going to be your first flex. So you can really do
First bench spot.
First bench spot.
The 6th man, as we
Your
call it.
6th man. And I really think you could do anything you want here. I think one player has bigger upside. I think I'd go Hollywood Brown here for you.
Really? Oh,
Ooh, not a fan.
not where I would go.
I think his upside, I mean, just being the only option on that offense, it's going to be rough until Kyler comes back. But the only reason I did that,
Yeah, if he comes back.
again, he's a bench spot already, so you don't need to start him for a while.
Name
Um,
dropping.
and I think out of the names here, he has a higher ceiling. But that's, again, what I'm thinking about the names left here.
Some key names out there, though.
There are a lot of good names.
Good names. Some like
Good.
former top 2 round pick names.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's one that was a top 2, controversial top 2 last year with a former owner in Ruben. That's
Oh, yeah, that's right.
draft day trade that made absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
So I got Adam right now. So this is actually Adam's first pick of the entire draft. So he has AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, and CMC. So we ended up having him keeping Derrick Henry over Drake London. So he can, I mean, he doesn't necessarily have to go receiver here. He can because we have 3 flexes, he can still go running back and be fine because he picks again in like 3 picks. So I don't think he's tied to one person or another here. If you look at who he's picked in the last couple of years or so, he's liked upside guys. I think one of these next 2 picks he takes, I think he has to go receiver. But I think right now, I think he's gonna take. Give me a Dameon Pierce.
It's a good pick.
It's good value on that one.
That's potential keeper also.
Yeah.
All right, we got Matty Ice. Okay. I had this written down. Hold on here. Can you go back to the start of the second or the end of the second round? Drake London. Okay. All right. Dude, he can really go wherever. So starting lineup so far is Fields, Chase at receiver, Jefferson's first flex, Bijan is running back, Gibbs at flex, Drake London at flex, and then Hawkinson as his tight end. So this is his first bench spot. Pretty solid team. He can really do whatever here. But I know he is a Bears fan. What? Someone say something? He is a Bears fan. However, even Bears fans know there was Fields isn't all that. And he's kind of, he's still a questionable guy. So I could see Hodge going for a backup quarterback right now to shore that up more so than going to get another flex guy. Because Fields is you kind of have to have someone there. So I think, God, I don't know if he'll go. Yeah, I'm going to go Deshaun Watson here just because I think that's the next best quarterback.
You've been trying to take quarterback for like 2 rounds.
It makes sense, though. I mean, Fields is fucking Fields, dude. It's kind of a shaky keep a quarterback. I mean, I don't think he should be keeping him in the first place. But, I think he goes quarterback to shore that up just in case anything happens to Fields. Fields runs a lot. He can get hurt. Fields also has never looked good throwing the ball. I mean, a lot could happen here. What do you guys think about that? I mean, it's pretty realistic.
Yeah, I also wouldn't be surprised if Hodge doesn't even take a quarterback.
So the opposite of what Marcus just did.
Well, I think Hodge. I don't know if he would take a quarterback there. I feel like he's someone, since it's just a mock or name dropping, I feel like he would just randomly pick like an Anthony Richardson type guy, just like really obnoxiously early, like in the 6th round.
It's true.
Because I mean, he did that. I think Trevor Lawrence's rookie year, he went I think it was 3 rookie quarterbacks in a row in the middle rounds because he had a lot of early picks.
He traded me his the person he picked in the 2nd or 3rd round for my 5th round pick that year, which ended up being Justin Fields, which was his rookie season, or something like that.
Yeah. So it may not be Watson. I guess my point is it may not be Watson, but I could see him going to quarterback soon here because he in his deep down, his heart of hearts knows that Fields isn't the guy, and he can very well not be the guy. So, quarterback is where I think he goes at this spot.
Cool. Get him again now.
Oh shit, back to back. So maybe he waits on quarterback, gets quarterback on the next pick. But
If he takes a quarterback, I think like here he would take it in the third.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he goes. Oh man, I'll do all these receivers. Yeah, I'd probably go. I go George Pickens.
Interesting.
Come on, that's Hodge's guy, dude.
I had some other names, but
It is very
Adam
hot.
Jefferson makes me not think he would take like an Addison because you don't want to double dip like that. And JSN is one that I think he 100% would take here.
You think he would go him over Pickens? He loves Pickens, dude.
Really? You should trade for him. I still got him.
Loves him. Well, then he trade him. Wasn't he like the big part of that deal?
I drafted Pickens, dog.
You that wasn't a part of the trade. Were you really? Oh, I thought he was part of that trade.
Mhm.
I got that. I got that.
So Adam's up right now. Adam has 3 running backs and 1 receiver in AJ Brown. So I don't think he's going to go running back here. He could shock you and go tight end, but I think he wants another receiver before things get kind of bare. So I think he's going to go Ayuk right here. I think Adam's someone that would buy some of the hype coming out of that camp and take Ayuk.
Ooh, breaking news.
Oh,
Got a trade.
What?
live?
Paul trades Stu back his 7th round pick, and Stu trades Paul his 8th and 11th. This allows Stu to keep his 7th round, keep his 7th rounder, and then keep Devontae Smith, bringing up his 6th round pick.
Oh.
Yeah, not very exciting, but
Oh.
A week pick swap live.
That's kind of weak, guys.
That was anticlimactic.
If you guys go do a trade, I know you guys are texting because you guys wanted to be announced on live stream, and I know you guys are on the live stream right now. Let's do better than that, guys. Come on.
yeah, come on.
You guys are
This
better
is,
than that.
this is the keeper. We're talking keepers right now and draft picks. And
We're talking about week pick 11.
We're doing a 5-round mock. You
Don't
traded
waste
no
our
picks.
time, is what they're basically
You
saying.
traded no picks in the.
Yeah, it's rough. Okay, this is ZT. Who's got ZT? Oh,
We
I
should
do,
be
right?
flattered that they hurried that trade up so we can like update it real time and do his real pick in there.
Yeah.
Cobb
That's what I
announcing. Getting dominated over here. Cobb announcing it like he's Adam Schefter, interrupting key programming.
It's your trade. You're dogging your own pick or your own trade.
Ooh, Paul, someone give me a key offer for JT.
Ooh.
No. No.
All right, so now we're going back to ZT's team.
Jesus.
So ZT's team: Jonathan Taylor, Amon Ross St. Brown, Lamar Jackson, Ramondre Stevenson, and Jerry Jeudy so far. This we has. So, I mean, it's a pretty solid team so far. Doesn't have a tight end, and doesn't have a last flex. So ZT's gonna get his last flex here. ZT's gonna go with Man, dude, it's pretty bleak. I think ZT's gonna go. I mean, he can go either running back, receiver. So you just BPA here.
The real number 1 in Washington.
No, dude,
Oh yeah.
that's not. He would not go that. You know what? He'll go Michael Pittman Jr.
Or I have Michael Pittman Sr. at this point.
Yeah, that's where he goes.
God, he was everybody's sweetheart at this point last year.
Yeah, freaking Cobb kept him in a 3rd round last year.
I know,
You
man.
did. What are you talking about? I got a 5th rounder for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I got him in the 3rd. He was like a 7th or 8th round keeper.
Come on, man. You were a fan.
Jesus.
Who's,
Only one
who's,
who did his research here.
who's up now?
Stu.
Okay.
Where is it?
Tasia's got Stu.
Oh, there it is on the far right. Okay. Stu. So I think he needs his last flex. All right, Stu. Oof. It's a little rough out there. It's all right, though. No, we can't handle.
There are a lot of good names, though.
There are a lot of good ones. It's tough. I mean, it's tough.
And some of these guys are guys who they can have a bounce back season, or at least one more good one before they called a swan song as far as being a top 5 fantasy guy.
Go Dalvin.
Ooh.
It's a good pick. I could see Stu doing that. Stu, what do you think? We should do that?
You do that right now?
Right now, lock you in.
Okay, so ZT, so he's back on the
Dude,
floor.
you're picking like forever. All of these.
I know.
You've had like 8 of the last 12 picks.
Who did I go for ZT just a little while ago? I went Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then he would go, the other guy I was thinking about, I would go James Conner here. I'm actually kind of high on Conner this year.
You're actually kind of high on him.
I'm high on him, yeah.
Wow.
For the reasons why the reason why Cobb thought that Hollywood Brown's going to be key. I think running back wise, I mean, they're just going to fucking give him the ball in every way they can, and that's
when they're down 21 points.
A lot of checkdowns.
A lot of HB dives in the third quarter when they're down to 28 points.
Coleman McCoy's me checking down the shit out of it to Connor. Geez. Okay. ZB's back up on the board. ZB can go anywhere. I don't think ZB has a tight end yet, so CB's gonna go get his. Actually, he doesn't have a quarterback either. Ooh, good quarterback or tight end. Okay. Tight end wise, the best tight end available. Okay. Yeah, I can see ZB going our guy, Dallas Goedert. I know it's our guy, but Dallas Goedert.
So I think if Goddard was there, Cobb would have taken him. Cobb has his quarterback, 2 running backs, and a receiver, I believe. Or he's got 3 receivers, 2 running backs, and a quarterback right now. So he needs his last flex and a tight end. He picks now, and then he's up in like 5 or 6 picks. So I think one of the 2, he goes Goddard. I think if Goddard was still on the board, he might have taken him. He either goes Waller, I think, or he goes best available. I think right now, I know he's a huge fan and still available as a keeper. I think Cobb goes Cam Akers here.
Ooh.
Pretty good.
Big fan. Good value. Yeah. Filling the Brees Hall void there. If I kind of like that combination. If it were there, that way I don't have to really rely on Brees. I think Cam will have a decent year. Consistent, nothing flashy. No, I like that pick, and I agree with you. If this is what was left, and there was like a Goddard available, tight end would probably make sense here. So now I'm going Alex. So Alex, this is his first pick since the first round, where he took Higgins. So right now his team's looking like Burrow, Eckler, Jacobs, Kelsey, and Higgins. So if he only has one wide receiver, he probably goes wide receiver here if that's the case. And this is interesting because I don't know when you pick. Oh, I guess Alex has another pick coming up, so I think he holds off there. So I think he goes Christian Kirk here.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, Kirk is key. Kirk was solid last year. Kirk was one of those guys, man. Like when in the offseason when they overpaid him, I thought it was a fucking terrible move. He looked so good last year. He kind of trailed off at the end of the season though, because didn't he get traded like 3 times in our league last year?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Jesus, no respect.
What are your thoughts, Alex?
I mean, obviously I'd be on the clock, and if these guys were here, I don't hate that pick. I personally wouldn't take Christian Kirk. This is a spot in the draft. Like, I think after the first 3 rounds, it's easy to be like, all right, I think these guys are going to go here. Once you start to get to like the 4th, 5th round, not that people are necessarily reaching, but like they have a majority of their team set and they're starting to get like their quote unquote guys. And so like at that point with who's available, I don't hate Kirk at all, but he's just not, he's not one of my like guys this year. So there's people that are still available that I would go ahead of him, but I don't hate that pick for the mock.
I mean, until Ridley proves it in real live action, Kirk's still the number 1 in my mind.
I don't know, man. Really looks pretty good in those videos, dude.
Practice videos, come on, man.
Everyone's really high on him this year.
Also, not forget, Ridley didn't look that good when he played last. He wasn't killing it in the NFL last season.
He played one drive in the preseason, had 2 catches for 20 yards.
There you go. First quarter preseason tells all.
There you go. 25 to 30 ADP higher. Justified.
I mean, hey, he's running routes pretty smoothly. Practice.
Yeah, one drive, 2 catches. Average that out. He was on track for like 20 catches that game.
Yeah, breaking Cup's record. Who has more invested in them? The team.
Dude, Kirk or Ridley?
Yeah.
Kirk.
Yeah. There you go. Kirk, first round pick.
I mean, contracts don't always tell a story, but not all the time. So you got Roden here, Tijit. Is this Roden's first pick?
Dude, I think this is his first pick. I was like, I do. When you said I have Roden's pick, I was like, I do.
Yeah, this is rough.
Holy shit, dude. This is going to be kind of fun. All right, so he
didn't have a first or a second, and then he's keeping Diggs with his.
Yeah.
He's got Allen, Diggs, Waddle. Holy crap, bro. All right, well, running back's coming. And it's coming back. Let's see what we got here.
This is rough, man. I mean, his 3 keepers are pretty good, though.
Yeah, key top 3.
He's someone who's hoping Dalvin would fall to him at this pick.
Yeah. Or Cam Akers or something like that.
Yeah, just someone you know is going to have a job, because now you're just like, shit, man. Let's see.
After seeing this, I kind of want to change my answer from Stu to Roden just looking at this.
Yeah, because if you factor in the draft board aspect of the keepers, yeah.
Because you look at his keepers and it's on paper it's not bad, but yeah, then you start to look at his roster after we do this mock.
Yeah, it's the worst situation, I think, for sure. And the worst part is he did this to himself. It's not like he inherited this mess. He literally inherited this mess. I mean, he traded the number 1 overall pick, and he did a pancake challenge.
I'd go.
Yeah,
I'd go David Montgomery for him.
Yeah, that's one of the best available.
He just needs a definitive starting running back at this point. Yeah, of course. And right on cue, he loses his next fucking thing. Jeez, man. Better make it count here, boy. It's like your last meal for a week. You better pick something good.
And for all the guys watching, this is the last round of our Cop and Dash Show mock draft. So 5th round, as you can see, it's getting kind of to a point where like anybody can go anywhere. But yeah, this is the last round of the.
Well, guys, for anyone watching and for you guys, if anyone needs a drink, if anyone needs anything, if anyone needs a question answered, Roden's your guy, because he's not picking till once in the top 5 rounds. So whatever you need, Roden's your guy. You guys like a mediator at this point.
We'll have like pizza order at this point and go pick it up.
Yeah.
I mean, Yags had his whole like roster given away by Barry, and I think he's had more picks than Roden at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Yax has had one pick. So I was thinking about going this guy for Alex in the 4th, but I think with how the board with Roden being behind him and Roden needing a running back, I think Alex was going to take a chance to wait for this guy to be here 5th for the keeper value. I'm going to go Jordan Addison. I think this is where I don't think he's going to be here at this point. But just based off of how rookie wide receivers have been going lately, I think this was it's great value and also potential to be have an immediate impact as well. So,
Alex, you're not really a big rookie receiver guy. With this is not your type of move. Would you do it?
He's on my list of guys I'm targeting. There's other people that I would be up in the air about. The only thing, so at this point, Addison, if you look at my roster, he would be my first bench guy, and I still don't have a tight end. So he's someone that I would have considered for actually that 4-11 pick. There's a couple other guys I also would have considered over Christian Kirk. Personally, I'm probably going to leave one of those 2 picks, the 4-11, the 5-01, with the tight end. That way I can just round up my roster.
You have Kelsey.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I got Kelsey. Yeah, so Jordan Addison's then my last flex there. So yeah, I like the Addison pick there, but the Kirk one I probably would have gone someone else. I'm not definitely like if Addison's there, it's not like a gimme pick, but he's probably on my like short list of people I consider.
All right. This is ZB. So I thought about this one. He doesn't have a quarterback, and to round out his roster here, I think he goes QB. I think he goes or his starting roster. Yeah, he's not high on your list here on this one we have here, but I think he goes. He's going to go with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. I mean, the guy's got the whole thing. The whole thing's made from in New York, man. He's got all the weapons. O-line's kind of suspect, but hey, man, tearing up in Hard Knocks. It's a good pick.
Cobb's up. So let's see. Cobb right now, he's got 3 running backs. Is that right? 3 running backs, 3 receivers.
Yep.
And then a QB. So he does need his tight end. So right now I'm going to give him Waller.
Not bad. That's a pretty good pick. Yeah, it's great value. It's the only only weapon they have over there.
Yeah, I like that.
Tage, you got Roden.
I was debating Waller with the 4-10 pick or the 4-10 pick.
Yeah, I mean to get Akers at the back of the 4th and the Waller in the 5th, definitely wouldn't be disappointed with that.
So he needs 2 flexes. Roden. We can do it with you, man. It's kind of just BPA for him. He doesn't really have any kind of position of need. He just needs flex. He needs bodies, dude. Guy just needs to field a roster week one, poor guy.
He's like us when we have like 7 and we're just trying to find one more guy in for pickup.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's I'll go Deontay Johnson for him.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, even with Pickens becoming more of a guy last year, Deontay was still a target hog, so.
Well, I mean, Pickens didn't become the guy till like later on in the season.
No, I know, but until I see that for a full season, I'm not buying that yet. Deontay still gets a lot of targets.
Yeah. So now we have
it's also good value for him too at this point.
This is true. Now we have Hotch, and Yeah, there's a guy that Cobb had mentioned as somebody he would go. Another young guy, JSN, who's still on the board here. He would just, yeah, he likes taking chances on the young guys because it's worked out once in the last like 5 years.
Don't do me wrong, boy.
What did you say?
It was a big hit, though.
It was a big hit, but he's going to continue doing it every year.
So right now, Tasia's up. I actually think this is kind of a no-brainer pick for him because he already has his tight end. He already has, I think he's got like 4 running backs, 2 receivers. So he needs a quarterback, and he has CeeDee Lamb. So I think he's going Dak right now to get the stack.
Dak stack, baby.
Ooh.
That's kind of key, actually. You never had a stack before, have you, Tasia? You've been a very anti-stack kind of guy.
In fantasy football or in this league?
No, in fantasy.
Dude, played fantasy for like 30 years. I haven't had a stack before. Yeah.
Well,
you could do a random pick and have a stack at some point in 25 years.
Okay, but
breaking the streak.
You may have had a stack before it was a thing, though. Like before.
I don't like.
Before
Yeah, I'm a trendsetter, dude. I don't
no, not that you were a trendsetter. You probably didn't even realize you even had a stack. They didn't even call it a stack back in like the Stone Ages when you were playing fantasy at the beginning of things.
I didn't like go out of my way and like reach for a guy just to get a stack. No, it wasn't my style.
You guys didn't probably even have a name for a stack. It's like, oh, I have the same QB receiver on the same team. You didn't even realize it was called a stack, dude. But your first time having a stack where you're calling it a stack.
That's still dumb. That's not true.
Okay. But it would be key if you could have that for yourself.
No, it's not a bad pick. I don't mind Dak this year. I think he's getting a lot of hate for his like interceptions. I think it's overblown. They pretty much substituted Cook for Schultz, which is not, that big of a drop off. So yeah, no, I wouldn't mind that.
Colin Coward's not a fan of Dak this year. He thinks it's time for them to pass it on.
Yeah, but as we've seen from like a lot of guys in the past, like you don't need to be a great like regular season quarterback to be like owned and startable in fantasy.
No, it's true.
Especially quarterbacks like the most of that theory.
And they're also a very interesting team this year too because Pollard's coming off that injury that he had. They didn't even bring they brought Ronald Jones, Deuce Vaughn. None of those guys are going to. Deuce
Vaughn look good, boy.
I guess the 4 stringers. But they don't really have another guy, and it seemed and Pollard's really not a bell cow running back. It seems like they're going to be throwing the ball a lot.
And Zeke's gone now too. I thought they were going to re-sign him.
Yeah, and that just shows you they could be going through more of a pass-heavy offense. McCarthy already said they want to take less. They want to take less of Dak's plate as far as the mental stuff. They kind of want to just do his thing on the field. So it seems like they're going to be throwing the ball a lot more. So, yeah. And him throwing a lot of interceptions at camp shows they're throwing him a lot too. So we only know he's throwing a lot of interceptions. We don't know how much they're throwing the ball. So it could mean that they're throwing the ball a lot.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now we got Cobb. You are doing Yags' pick right here.
Yeah, Yags needs a QB, needs a tight end. But Dak just went. And the options are not great, so I think he would wait on that. And
would you have picked Dak?
For him, probably. But at this point, I don't know if you're going to kind of punt on QB. I'm not really sold on his running back situation with Miles Sanders, or at least him being the only running back he has. So I'd probably go Javonte Williams here. Again, just trying to round out the running back position. It's very important, and I don't think the tight ends or QBs available would be big difference makers. And I think he needs to take the shot. And Javonte in the 5th, I mean, a potential keeper, right? So I think that'd be good value.
Yeah, it's great. That was Alex's cornerstone last year, dude.
Yeah.
I died on the sword.
You did. And you left him for dead at the top of the hill too afterwards.
I'm a truther. All right, Cobb's up. So Cobb's he's got back-to-back picks actually, and he's in a good spot because I think his entire roster is filled out. He already has, QB, tight end, all of his, running back, receiver, flexes. So he's just building his bench at this point. So I think he has the ability to take some upside shots, and you can see what sticks here since he's got extra capital. I think right now, so I'll give both picks. I think he goes Pacheco, Isaiah Pacheco, and then I think he goes Quentin Johnson.
Ooh,
Pretty good.
yeah. I'm a big fan of having 3 5th-rounders. I think it's in the 5th round. The last couple of drafts have had a lot of good value, and it's again really good keeper round in previous years. I wouldn't be disappointed with that. I'm not really the biggest Pacheco guy. Johnston, I really want him in our dynasty league because I have Herbert. But yeah, I mean, it's a guy that I could sit on for a little bit. No one I need to plug in right away. I think he's gonna. I mean, I really liked Mike Williams has been my guy since he came in the league, but I think Johnston's gonna overtake him by the end of the year. So wouldn't be disappointed in that.
It's good. Yeah, it's a good pick.
Yeah.
Really? Overtake him, huh?
I don't know. Mike Williams can never stay on the field.
It's true.
I know. They have less invested in Allen at this point than Williams. I think if anyone's going to lose snaps, it'll probably be Allen at some point.
Well, that's what I mean. Allen and Williams both get hurt all the time.
I know.
Him over Palmer. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be a good. And from what I hear, he's dominating camp. So,
Hey, he scored a touchdown, didn't he?
I think so.
And he's playing all over the field too. He's not just playing an outside receiver. Like apparently they surprised him with his ability to go from the slot.
It's cute stuff. Welcome to the team.
The team.
So, is this going to be your last pick? Do you have another one at the end of the 5th? No. Okay. So,
I'll have 2 more picks.
yeah, I mean your team's looking good. You're again picking bench guys right now. I think I don't know. This is a tough spot because there's a lot. Like all these guys are all over the place. Damn. I think you're gonna go because you already have. I guess you have Najee and Pollard. I feel like historically you haven't really gotten a ton of running backs, but I also don't think that any of the running backs are here still available or guys that you go for really. So I'm just going to go Mike Evans. I think, safe pick. Who knows how Tampa's going to be? I think they're going to throw it a lot, and Mike Evans is probably going to get plenty of jump balls his way. So
he could also be traded to a contender in the midseason.
Yeah, exactly. So
That would hurt. That would hurt his stock badly, though, dude. Those guys don't really.
It depends what team he went to. Can't be any worse than Baker and Tampa. What are you talking about, dude?
I'll tell you what they did. Baker reminds me. He's got a lot of Manziel in him. The last time Mike Evans was relevant,
Got a lot of Menzel in him.
Last time Mike Evans was relevant was at Texas A&M when freaking Manziel throwing bombs to him.
The last thing you want as a starting quarterback in the NFL is a lot of Menzel in you. Okay.
Evans translated well with that play. Baker could do the same with him. Revitalize him. I mean, going from a statue to Baker. I mean, come on, dude. He might tear it up with Mike Evans. He has a statue back there, and he's putting up numbers with that statue. I'm talking about Brady, by the way.
Yeah, I got that.
If Brady was still with the Bucs, Evans would have gone way higher than now.
No, I know. I'm making a joke. I would love Mike Evans though, and I do think there's a shot that Baker does well with him because Baker looked really good. I know it's preseason, take it for what it is, but
It's a great pick at this point.
he looked good. He looked good last week with the three. I mean, he was starting, but none of the main receivers played in that game. He looked really good. He looked really efficient. Yeah. So who knows?
So I guess I got Mr. Relevant for a mock right now. I got Adam. Since Chase is being kept. I don't think his team's a mess right now, but he's got 3 running backs, 2 receivers. He does not have a quarterback, and quarterback market that's currently out there right now. I think you have Tua and Kirk Cousins as the best two. I mean, it's at the point, and he has 2 out of the next 3 picks coming up. I think at this point he might as well just take one of those 2. I'm just, for the sake of the matter, I think he just waits till a 6 because I think he's comfortable with either one. I think he doesn't think Hodge is going to take a quarterback at that point. So I think he just uses his 6 to take a quarterback. I don't know if he could go like a Freiermuth or something here, but he might also maybe want like an upside younger tight end and just take him later as well and just go best available. So this is just a crapshoot. He could go all over the place. I think I'm going to have him go just because there's not many. I think he sees higher upside receivers left on the board. So even though he already has 3 running backs, I think he takes I think he goes like a Brian Robinson type of guy right now.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I don't like it at all.
No, that's your guy, Marcus. Who are you kidding?
Yeah, I liked him as far as like I thought like these bum Redskin fans in our league, which I didn't realize at the time we actually don't have that many Redskins fans in our league.
He's a Cowboys guy, but still,
ZT makes up for it.
Yeah, but he does. But ZT tries to stay away from the Redskins players. He's kind of a weak fan.
Smart fantasy guy though.
Wow, smart fantasy guy who has no rings to show for, no hardware.
He's also kept McLaurin like 4 years in a row though. So
that's true. That's but good value though, like 18th round.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because there's not many running backs available. It's like him. You got like Gibson. He could have gone Swift, but he also has A.J. Brown, so I don't know if you'd want 2 guys in the same team. I don't know, but I mean, he very well could end up just going like a Freiermuth and Kirk Cousins combo right there and just say, all right, I'm done with my starting team and just go flex the rest of the draft. But I don't know. He's kind of in a tough spot. Honestly, I think how we ran this mock where he had his 2nd round pick available and he was keeping London with his 5th, which he could be leaning on doing. I think he might be in a better position doing that. I'm not sure though.
Yeah. Yeah. I think based on, even though it's a very top heavy, it's very deep in like the middle guys as far as like your late 1st to like early 3rd. It's really deep in that. Not having any of those early picks is tough.
Yeah, I was gonna just looking at like who I drafted for. It's crazy that at this point, Marcus, you're gonna have 2 more people than Alex has, and Alex is gonna have 2 more people than Yags has at this point, which is like wild. So you're gonna have 4 more people than Yags has at this point. And I'm sure it kind of sounded like everyone was drafting someone like that didn't. I mean, Roden too. Like Roden barely had anyone.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
Because I just looked at like just based on the mock we just had. I looked at if my team were if I'm keeping Kelsey versus when I'm not keeping Kelsey. So right, if I were let's say I were to keep Kelsey, I would need to waste my first. I would need to reach on a receiver because if I don't reach on a receiver in that 1st round pick, when I get to my 2nd round pick, it's gonna be rough if I just go BPA running back and I go and I go best receiver available in the 1st. I go Cooper. I'm not that happy about that. Then 2nd, I go for my 1st flex. And then I have my 2 thirds. I don't know if I like that. I actually looking at this, I think I like what I have here, the mock we just did. I actually like that better than the Kelsey Mahomes Pollard.
That's why mocks are important.
Yeah. It's interesting because I honestly I've been wavering back and forth over the last few days, and I really like obviously I like having Kelsey on my team, but like just looking at that, my team it's a better team without Kelsey, which is just I'm surprised by that actually. But well, this is very interesting. I'm glad we were able to do the mock together. I'm glad Alex was able to come back on the show. Yeah, it was a nice time. I think we had 5 people in the live chat at one point watching, so people were really into the mock. But yeah, really enjoyed it, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed it too. We'll see you guys next week on the next installment of the Cobb and Dash show where we do grades of. We kind of hinted at it. We teased at it today. It's going to be grades of the projected keepers going into the draft. So a week closer, guys. Can't wait to see everybody at the draft in a couple weeks. So,
All right, guys.
Looking forward to it.
we'll see you next time, guys.
Later on.